So today we're going to talk about the Battlefield 2042 beta, my thoughts now that it's complete, and kind of what I thought overall of the gameplay. So welcome to the channel for the first time viewers. Welcome back for my existing subscribers. Let's just jump right into it. I'll start with the negatives of the beta. The negatives of the beta were definitely the glitches. There were a lot of those. There were also some weird attachment issues that I was experiencing. So for instance, I couldn't get any other attachment other than the sights onto the pistol. I didn't try the revolver. I played with it like 1 or 2 games, but I couldn't actually get any sights onto, or not sights, but any attachments onto the Glock looking pistol. But that's minor. I would say some of the bigger glitches were things that everybody kind of knows about, but I'm going to try to stick more towards what I experienced, right? Bodies just flying everywhere. So an explosion would happen, body would completely fly, through the sky, through the ground, or wherever, whatever direction it got shot into, it just like took off, right? And then there was this really jarring glitch where choppers, planes, jets, all those aircrafts would just dart across my screen. So they would like jet from one place to another. Outside of that, this was actually impressive. Unlike the Vanguard beta, which did not sell me, I wasn't sold on Vanguard because of World War II setting. I was tired of that. And then I saw the gameplay, tried it out because it was the alpha, kind of liked it, wanted to see more. Then, it rolled into the beta. That was open for everybody. Tried that, played that, threw a lot of hours into it. And it just didn't really do it for me. It didn't sell the game for me. Versus this one, from what I saw on the tech test, the leak tech test gameplay to this, it was a lot better of an experience from my perspective. I don't want to make this an overly drawn out video, so I'm going to jump into the positives and I'll give you my opinion. Some of the positives were the team play. Whenever I got, into a game with Stucky Man, which you'll see in a couple of the clips, it was always really fun, right? So playing with your teammates, seeing cool stuff together, taking down enemy tanks, coordinating that type of stuff was really fun. It felt like Battlefield 3, which is another big plus, right? Battlefield 3 was one of those classic Battlefield games, and Battlefield 4 kind of built on top of that, added more weaponry, more attachment options, and things like that, right? But, Battlefield 3 is kind of where Battlefield took that step forward. And then, in my opinion, Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 were both steps backwards. The graphics improved in Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, but in this game specifically, Battlefield 2042, it does not disappoint when it comes to graphics. And like I said, the gameplay, tying it back to Battlefield 3, it really feels like it, where I remember going through, and if you had that perfect control on your recoil, like if you memorize the recoil patterns, you were rewarded, right? So if you remember like, okay, 5 or 6 shots, and then I can let go for a second, 5 or 6 shots, and your accuracy was that much better, you still get that kind of gunplay here. They added a lot more movement features as far as with the zip lining, with the sliding. So sliding kind of feels like, I was going to say Call of Duty, but it feels like Apex. So if you ever slide down a hill, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. It reminds me a lot of Apex. You don't slide as long, but the animation and the speed and the way the camera kind of morphs around your player reminds me a lot of Apex. Now, when it comes to the gunplay, I did play with a controller, and to be honest, this kind of should be a negative, but when I played it on PS5, I noticed that the game was just a lot more smooth than when I played it on my RTX 3090, which it was blowing my mind. It was actually pissing me off. I was like, why is this game smoother on console and look a little bit better on console? So I went through and, I took off I can't remember, it's the high quality objects. It's the last graphical setting option. So when you see any of these benchmarks that I run, the last option that kind of tells you how many high fidelity objects are shown on the screen, lowering that to medium really improved my gameplay experience tremendously. So not only did it match the PS5 feel, it looked better because I was using higher graphic settings, but that particular setting itself, for whatever reason, it just really had sharp drops and a lot of stutters and a lot of dips in my frame rate. Whereas when I lowered that, the quality of the graphics still stayed the same, but the actual overall feel of the game was really good. People that rely on aim assist are really going to like this game because, again, I played with the standard series controller, the standard PS5 controller, and aim assist was really sharp and crisp and very helpful in both of these setups, right? I don't really like the tension on the sticks which I didn't notice on the PS5 controller, like, or not the sticks, but the triggers. I don't like that resistance feature. You know, I think it's kind of tacky, especially when I play Madden. You know, I'm on a rant, but when I play Madden, I'm trying to like sprint, and if for whatever reason it's not letting me pull down all the way. It's silly to me. Anyways, feels good. And the actual movement felt good. The sensitivity I was using, I think, was like 25 or 30. And, you know, circling around felt really good. Not as good as mouse and keyboard, but with that aim assist, you know, it really, I was getting just as many kills on controller, which I'm no longer as good as I used to be, as I was with mouse and keyboard. So that's always a plus, right? That the game feels good on controller, especially since it's a cross-play title, which is another positive, man, the cross-play. So I'll be able to play once the actual game rolls out. Hopefully, fingers crossed. When the game rolls out, with everybody that's on Xbox and PS4, PS5, and, you know, series consoles as well. So that's my hope, is that feature is fixed, because you couldn't invite, if I remember correctly, you couldn't invite people from the crossplay. You were on teams and squads with people, you know, from different platforms, but you couldn't directly invite somebody from Xbox. It's what they were saying at the beginning. Maybe that changed throughout. I only really tried to invite my Origin friends. But overall, you know, that experience was smooth. Playing with people on Xbox was perfectly fine, no issues. And, you know, you could see that they're on PlayStation as well. It's the same exact thing. So I didn't have any issues there. And I think that because games like Warzone and Apex have that feature, this game could compete at a higher level because of that. And now you're going to be able to see, you know, old buddies that you maybe left behind, didn't get to play with in the future, or as far as, you know, if you switch to PC and you haven't been able to play any games. Like for me, that game was Rainbow Six. I had a ton of friends on PS4. I had a ton of friends on Xbox. When I switched, you know, my friends list was kind of left behind. And up until Warzone, I haven't been able to play with those guys and a couple gals, but whatever. Overall, like I said, the game did a good job with this beta, even with the bugs, right? And I would have said before, looking at the tech test, and then comparing it to the beta, the fact that they say that this is a build that's a couple months behind and they fixed a lot of things and improved the gameplay a lot, I'm kind of tempted to believe that, because when you look at the tech test gameplay, the ground was all shifty, like it was bad. It was in a bad way. But when I was playing this, it was actually playable. Would I be as forgiving if it was released in this state? Nah. So the fact that it was a beta and it was having some of these issues, it's like, okay, cool, it's a beta. And the fact that they've already improved from the tech test so much is why I'm like, all right, well, it's not the end of the world, right? Especially if they're saying that they've done even better, because they did say that when the tech test came out. That was a rebuttal. It was like, hey, you know, this is a vanilla environment, it's capped at 30 FPS, and, you know, anybody that's in there, it's more so to test the stability of the servers, not really the game. So that was kind of fair, right? So then the game comes out, or the beta comes out, and it plays like 10 times better. So it played like 10 times better. And that's really cool, because again, looking at tech test footage and then actually playing this, you know, it was just way better. You could look at all the footage for the actual beta as well and see that it plays better. So I'm hoping for another, you know, 3 to 5x jump when the actual game comes out next month. So we'll see. Hopefully they do another kind of beta run where we could try out something like a Hazard Zone or some of these other modes like Portal. But overall, this, again, did a good job of selling me, versus in Vanguard, I'm still up in the air when it comes to Vanguard. Like, I'm probably not going to buy it, especially with this coming out, Halo coming out. I signed up for Uplay Plus to get Far Cry 6 to try that out. Might end up snagging that on sale. It's a pretty good game. There's so much to play that I don't feel the need to go buy Vanguard, especially if Warzone is free and all this other jazz. I know you can level up guns faster in multiplayer, but to me, it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, whatever. At the end, like, it is just what it is. Like, who cares? But yeah, let me know what you thought about the beta. I'll cut the video from here, and hopefully y'all have a great rest of your day. I'll catch y'all on the flip. Be easy.
Got control of almost every sector.